Arm day, fun day. Let's get right into it. Warm up the triceps with some bench dips on trucking driving chairs. Whatever, make it work. Do about 12 of these. Just warm up, get the shoulders stretched out. All right, so we're back to the regular arm training format. Last time I think I did a 5x5, so it was like 5 supersets, triceps, biceps, 5 reps. We'll be back to the 7, the triple sevens. So 7 supersets, 7 reps of triceps, 7 reps of biceps, of an assortment of different exercises. Then we'll go from there. Talk about whatever. Ugh. It's gonna be one of those days today. It's gonna be probably another couple days. I'm waiting to get loaded right now. I checked in, but there's no waiting on site, so I had to come to this truck stop nearby where I'm checking in down here in Fillmore, Utah. And my appointment's not till 3. I checked in like 5 hours early. Hoping I can get in early and get driving because it's a tight schedule to get up to Washington at 9 a.m. on 2 days from now, so the next day. So I got tomorrow, then I'm delivering the day after that. So it could be one of those night driving situations. We'll see. Hope not, but if it is what it is. Just got to keep on keeping on. All right, let's do some quick set of chin-ups here. So we'll just be doing chin-ups today. I think we're just going to stick with chin-ups, 7 sets of 7. Not to get real intense, because I don't know what the next couple of days are going to bring. That's the stress of this way of life, living on the road, doing long-haul trucking. You just never really know, and you always have to you're constantly adapting to all these changes. And it's cool because it develops a solid mindset of just dealing with the unexpected and achieving what you want to achieve and doing what you know you need to do to keep moving forward no matter the circumstances, because they're always changing, and more often than not they're far less than ideal. And that's just life in general. That's not just when you're on the road. That's for anybody who's not just gonna live a life of comfort, safety, and convenience. Because eventually, that becomes the most painful life there is to live. At least I think so, from what I've seen. Anyways, let's do some dips. See how these go. Felt good. Left shoulder's feeling a lot better. Still not 100%. I still have to be careful. So I can't just, be going crazy with everything. Especially when you have the format that I have, where I train every day. Mostly just get that pump, get those endorphins. But I also want to keep getting stronger, which is more challenging as I get older, especially with the life I live. And I'm always debating how much longer I'm going to stay on the road, because I don't really need to anymore. I'm going to take my time with this one, since I'm probably have a little bit of time today, more than I expect. I could get called into a door to start getting loaded, right now. But from the looks of things and how this place runs, it'll probably be closer to my appointment time around 3 o'clock. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But in the meantime, I'm going to take my time with this, get a little bit more rest between each set, put a little more into it, just keep that pump going. I probably won't do any real hard sets. I may have to change the dips up depending on how the shoulder feels, but if the shoulder keeps hanging on, then I'm going to keep going with just the dips and chin-ups. Speaking of, it's about time for round number 2 of these chin-ups. So this is almost feeling like the sets of 7 are getting a little easy. So it'll be fairly soon when I have to up the intensity or the format in one way or the other. We'll see. I always make adjustments. One of the things you have to definitely get used to, if you really want to improve yourself in any way, which is, I think, purpose of life, maybe, I don't know. It's definitely better than just letting life happen to you and trying to avoid any kind of discomfort whatsoever. But you kind of have to embrace that inconvenience of training. You got to stay consistent no matter what, unless it's real extreme circumstances, like if you get really sick, or maybe you're just got something going on in life where you're just not able to get around to it. Like last week, I didn't get any sleep for a whole night. So I skipped that day's workout because I was still on the same day as the day before. I don't think you need to wake up, do a workout that day, work all through the night, and then do another workout. I think it's best to just get the sleep, then continue on as you were after you get that sleep. I don't really make a big deal on sleep because my schedule is always changing. Like, I don't know what the next couple days are going to be. I could be driving nights, which is going to be rough, but it's what I have to do sometimes. But it's not always going to be convenient. You're not always going to feel like putting in the work. But you got to make that habit of getting it done no matter what. Otherwise, there's no real reward. So, another set of dips here. It's almost as if life needs to test you sometimes to see if you're really truly committed and dedicated to the path you put yourself on. I think that's what messes people up with just getting in shape, because we live in a society where it's so easy to survive and stay relatively safe and comfortable without really having to do a whole lot. Just show up, punch a clock, and that's all you got to do. A lot of people can be pretty comfortable and they get sucked into that way of living where any kind of discomfort is something they're taught to run away from. But eventually, it's all going to catch back up to you. There's no running away. One way or the other, you got to just kind of get through it. Keep it going. Alright, that's round number 3. Feeling pretty good. I think we'll just stick with dips and chin-ups for the next 4 rounds. And just concentrate on keeping that pump going. I'm not going to go real hard. going to keep it steady. Work for the pump, work for the endorphins. That's good. Sometimes I would say most times, that's all you need to do. That's all you really should do. Get the heart rate up, get the endorphins, get a pump, get that all around elevation of frequency, as some like to call it. I don't know all about that stuff myself, but I do read and listen to YouTube videos about it, and it's interesting. And the more I apply those principles, it does seem the better off I'm doing in general. But I don't work out every single day because I think it's the most ideal way of working out to build muscle and strength. What I do think is that it does build muscle and strength if approached the right way. Like I say, high frequency, moderate intensity. But I do think it's the best way to elevate your overall health. So looking at physical health, your strength, your mental well-being, your psychological and emotional well-being. It brings all of that up to a higher level. Yeah, I agree that's not always the most ideal way of maximizing your muscle gains. However, the older you get, the more I find that focusing on overall health and fitness, not just strength and muscle, is a far superior approach. It's just me, but what do I know? I've only been at it for almost 4 decades. So I was thinking yesterday, what's my overall goal of what I'm doing with long haul trucking and working out every day? I think I want to keep doing it as long as I'm making progress. As long as I'm able to make progress, I'm getting stronger, healthier, and better all around, I want to stay on the road. And I want to get to the point where I can handle all the challenges that this way of life throws at me in a way where it no longer stresses me out. So I'll admit, today I'm a little stressed and worried about things that I have no control over. I have no control over my schedule the next 2 days. I just have to adapt it to fit however I can to be on time for my delivery. And I know what's better for me is to drive during the day. Wake up early in the morning, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, drive until early, afternoon, shut down. That's how I like to run. That's ideal for me. Doesn't always happen that way. And it looks like not likely to happen on this run. But I can't control that. And I know the whole process of self-mastery is controlling what you can control to the best of your abilities, and then adapting to whatever else you have to without stressing and worrying about it. And that's something I have to continually work on. Round 4 chin-ups. Let's go. Alright, the chin-ups aren't really getting difficult, but that is slowing down somewhat towards the end. But for now, I think that's okay. Especially yesterday, I did a more intense leg workout. A lot more lunges in a shorter period of time than usual. A lot of times my leg workout will be 5 sets of lunges for 20 reps, then some duck walks, some Cossack squats, and a forward to backward bend. Yesterday I just did 3 rounds of that, but I did 40 lunges straight, and that gets my legs burning. Instead of 5 sets of 20 lunges, I did 3 sets of 40. Then I did 12 duck walks, 12 Cossack squats, and 10 backward and forward lunges. me about 16 minutes, and that was enough where I'm a little sore today. So when I wake up, start the day, I'm a little sore from the day before. I'm usually not going to push that next workout to a level of intensity that's not really needed. I think it's good if you're a little sore in one area to prioritize the recovery of that and just let that recover. Still do your workout, get that pump, get those endorphins, but when you're training every day, you just got to let it ebb and flow. Ebb and flow as you go. Whew. Round number 5. Alright, let's get a little unsteady there, so and for the last 2 rounds of dips, I'll have to go a little less deep than I have been. I feel like I'm going deeper than I was a little while before. When looking at the videos, it looks about the same. But all I know is the shoulders feel a lot better than they have in a long time. Mostly because I just made some changes. As soon as you feel some tweaks, if things aren't really quite right, you gotta back off a little bit, change things up, experiment, try some new things, work your muscles in a different way, and keep making progress. So I'm going to take a little bit more of a break before these last 2 rounds. I'm going to try to get these last 2 rounds done fairly quick succession. It's funny how obstacles and setbacks can come at you no matter your circumstances. Whether you're in a situation like I am now, living out on the road, when you're constantly dealing with a very highly dynamic schedule that's constantly changing, it's constantly challenging you to keep things going when it's the last thing you want to do, or you're in a more, what some would consider an ideal situation, like I was last year when I was hanging out in Da Nang, Vietnam, just on the beach, and I didn't really have much else to do. All I had to do was wake up, go get something to eat, go work out, go for a walk on the beach. It was a very leisurely way of life. But the problem with that is that even living a life where you don't have any real challenges becomes a challenge in and of itself. And almost in some ways, a worse challenge than when you're not in that much control. I found myself just getting a lot more lackadaisical, kind of more lazy, sleeping in. I found it very difficult to keep a high level of discipline and to keep moving forward when I had complete control over my own schedule. And I think that's where I need to head right now before I do that again, because it is nice. I think you need to experience that dichotomy of life situations, the yin and yang. But I know if I'm going to do that again, as self-motivated as I am, to handle it at that level, where you can choose that life of just leisure, sitting around on the beach, sipping that water, coconut water, and then going doing pull-ups on the beach. It's beautiful. And I definitely look forward to doing it again. But I don't know if I'm ready to live that way permanently without it really affecting me in a negative way in the long run. Such is life, man. It's just a trip. Anyways, let's do these last 2 rounds. Get them done. All right, do a 20-second break and right to the chin-ups. We'll do about 20 seconds between each rep. Just keep it going here. So not long. It's just another way to push yourself. Just kind of condense the time between sets. Another way to make up the intensity without putting unneeded demands on your body. Yeah, this would be a good way to finish. Ten more seconds, and we'll do our last set of dips. In 20 seconds, last set of pull-ups, and we'll stretch. And that'll be that. All right. Okay. Might need a little longer than 20 seconds on this one. Last rep. That was pretty much a failure on that last dip. I don't typically like to do on ring dips. But every now and then, real quick, it's okay. Woo. All right, maybe I should have given myself a little more rest between those last sets, but hey, it's all right. All right, let's do a little bit of stretching, and that's that. It's one of the things that makes calisthenics and bodyweight training in general so effective for just getting in great shape. I mean, it is primarily strength training, but you use so much of your body in every exercise, even though you might be hitting a certain muscle group the most, you still have to use your whole body just about everything you do. You know, just doing ring dips like that, just keeping yourself stable. It's not like doing overhead tricep presses or cable press downs. You're using your abs, so much more muscles in your back, your shoulders. This is why you get so well conditioned, and why calisthenics, people who do calisthenics, have a much leaner, well-rounded physique than so many of the guys that just lift weights. They're oftentimes better conditioned. Like, I seriously doubt, I mean, most calisthenics guys, we don't do a lot of direct abdominal work. You know, we often have some of the best abdominals in the fitness game. You know, next to maybe competitive gymnasts. It's because everything we do, we're using our abdominals. You know, every time I'm doing those chin-ups, I've got my knees tucked or my legs straight and in front of me a little bit. That's using your abdominals. So you're just using so much muscle all throughout the body and everything you do that it's just great for overall conditioning. That's why if you want bang for your buck, you want the greatest return on per minute of training, it's tough to beat just pure calisthenics. It really is. Make it simple, make it convenient, and that's how you can create that unstoppable consistency. That's it. Next time.